Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Nowadays we're going to speak about Severance season. Episode 19. The Sants back this week with the first episode of season 2. And I suppose it's secure to mention that the display is definitely as difficult as all of us idea. It would be following on from the activities that came about with inside the season 1 finale, where Mark, Helly, and Irving all wakened in their RTIs, our bodies. This episode turned into reputedly set 5 months after. It came about following, all of them being highlighted as heroes with matters now no longer quite acting as they appear, and they doubtlessly being an imposter amongst the institution. Let's damage down this first episode and give an explanation for all the vital details right here. Is Severance Season 2 Episode 1 finishing defined simply to allow you to know? This video will comprise spoilers what's occurring with Helly, with Dylan, Irving, and Helly now no longer acting till partway through the episode and at handiest going on after Milch. And the board found out that Mark wasn't going to play ball together, along with his new colleagues, because he turned into annoying to be together, along with his former colleagues, with all of them returning and being open and sincere. Approximately what came about while they have been in their outies global. We clearly noticed Helly approximately what came about while she awoke. She failed to inform the fact approximately the reality that she turned into the daughter of James Egan and turned into in there as a part of Antest. She rather stated that she wakened in an rental on her very own and noticed a gardener throughout the evening, something which Irving turned into stressed by it, as it sincerely seemed like a ridiculous state of affairs. In the beginning initially idea she stated that due to the fact she failed to need to be sincere and have them view her in a different way together, along with her ATI being the daughter of the CEO of Lumon, rather on the alternative facet it can be greater, so leaning into the reality that she's an A and she's long gone in there as a ratto infiltrate the institution from inside, and she failed to think about an real state of affairs due to the fact she failed to anticipate to be asked. One factor that still makes me suppose this is something it truly is very free. However, it's primarily based totally on while Mark turned into together along with his new colleagues. Colorations are so vital in this display, and blue turned into constantly a part of somebody's painting's apparel, whether or not it's a jacket, a get-dressed a tie, or a blouse. However, the handiest person that we met on the 2D look that did not have any blue on them turned into Gwendolyn, which turned into Hell's substitute. She turned into sporting red, making her the abnormal one out completely, together along with her being Hell's substitute with inside the dynamic, and Gwendolyn being the abnormal one out. I sense like that would be carried via into the primary organization, and it can be hinting at there being an abnormal one out among all of them, which might be the reality that everyone isn't in aside from Helios nicely, whilst you evaluate the manner that Helly grew to become on her laptop as compared to Mark. And additionally, Milch, she struggled for a short second and now no longer understanding in which the button become, while Mark had no issues in any way, and moments earlier than help rest her transfer. Milch had no problems, both the quantity of instances they've pressed that transfer. It is something that you would not war to do due to the fact it is being completed so commonly attempted on your very own laptop. I doubt you may omit it. High additionally pronouncing how each INI and ATs are absolutely distinct human beings and are now no longer a part of the identical global form of feels, like it can be born from the reality that the in model of her attempted to geopardize the whole thing and smash the own circle of relatives is call, something that her Alti would not endorse for in any respect, so there's truly greater to include Hell in their ality, that she ought to nicely give up reporting lower back on the whole thing that's occurring. That might be why the board determined to reunite Mark and produce lower back all of his former colleagues, due to the fact it could be of their pleasant hobby to get the facts without delay from the horse's mouth, and any person that they can agree with at the same time as on the subject of their probably being a rat and any person being a chunk distinct. We additionally noticed that Dylan become proven a improvement of a new location, which become going to be the ATI own circle of relatives visitation suite. Mr. Millick told Dylan to preserve it to himself due to the fact all of the others had been unmarried of their A global. So I sense like that is to be something with the intention to get the others to los agree within Dylan through the years. Something that Milch possibly wishes, keeping something to yourself with inside the climate that they may be in is sort of like you're asking to now no longer be relied on. Mainly if it is we're given something to do with the Autuso. I sense we are truly going to see that being something that ends up erupting. What's Cold Harbor proper? At the give up of the episode, we notice that Mark becomes sitting there at his table, and he become giving his emotional reaction to the numbers that he becomes seeing on display screen, and he become placing the ones numbers into folders that felt proper on his display screen. His development changed into at 68%, after which we saw the display rework right into a exceptional one which stated Cold Harbor on it. This display had Miss Casey's face there, and the 68% changed into matching what Mark changed into doing. At the lowest of the display it had boxes with Whoa Dr. FC and Ma in them with exceptional values on them. This stands for Woe, Frolic, Dread, and Malice, the 4 exceptional tempers which make up a person. It looks as if the numbers that Mark is sorting might be essential in what might be a brand new department of Lumon, with Miss Casey now no longer being on his ground, and well-being searching like it has been shut down should pass over Casey truly be getting examined on. And will this additionally be occurring to numerous exceptional humans? Her coronary heart feed changed into on display, which confirmed that something Mark changed into doing on the PC changed into immediately impacting her. We additionally recognize that Lumon does not simply care that a great deal approximately morals and the Manarinis are handled, even though the video announcing that they concentrate to the employees and have been that specialized in making things higher says in any other case, so them trying out onesies is something that I would not put beyond them. So I suppose Cold Harbor should properly be a department in Lumon which is targeted on trying out humans, and that should truly be the cause of what macro dat control is. There may be continually been a cognizance on them now, no longer simply understanding what they do and all of it seeming unnecessary. But what if the twist is that they're truly dictating how humans act due to the emotional pull that they get from what they do? Who's Hold Miss Hold changed into? Clearly an exciting individual in this primary episode. She changed into a younger girl that changed into a manager and had a very mature attitude. She changed into locked in at work, and she or he mainly noted to Mark that she wasn't his pal and that she changed into his manager. The baffling thing, approximately her, is the truth that she's so younger, and we have got now no longer visible a employee as younger as her earlier than this. Left a massive query around her identification and the way she ended up there. One principle that I suppose might be authentic is that she might be related to Overlook Cable. In a few manner she has the identical bloodless appearance as what she had, the identical abruptness and tone that changed into Acquainted in Season 1. And as properly the phrases Miss Cable were given a massive focus. The digital digicam changed into switching among her and the PC screen with Cable's name on. So there has been clearly a few planned placement taking place there. The manner Milch gave her a glance has properly become a bit suspicious too. So I'm searching ahead to seeing extra approximately this individual with inside the coming episodes. The significance of color. One issue that genuinely does stand out to me on this display are the handful of colors which might be used. White and blue are the two which are used the maximum. However, there's additionally green and crimson white become used loads on this episode, and everything of the opening scene encapsulates why it's miles the never-finishing corridors with all the walls searching the equal genuinely encapsulate us. That workplace feeling and the sensation of being trapped, something that many people can sense. While they may be at paintings, there is no persona, no individual, and it's mind-dumbing once more precisely what certain places of work can sense like. So I sense the display captures the general tone of workplace lifestyles and running with the overuse of the color white. The following color that we notice getting used loads on this episode become the color blow. The balloons had been blue, the badges had been blue, each individual had been blue of their outfit in a few manner, and Mr. Milch workplace is a haven for blue. Blue is maximum related to calmness, relaxation, consider, and safety, the very opposite to the whole lot that milkshake stands for. So I sense it is utilized in a chunk of an ironic manner with him, due to the fact he stands for the exact opposite of all of the ones matters. However, with colleagues having it of their clothes, I assume that consider and luxury is meant to be reinforced that manner due to the fact they do all care for each other. Paintings, family matters, one issue that become mainly interesting on this episode become the complete dynamic of Peace own circle of relatives. Own circle of relatives being concerned for others, and the chance of not existing, in case you selected to go away the any international, how that becomes something that become proposed to, the organization with the aid of using Milch Irving become mourning. The lack of Bert, and the reality that on the out of doors, he become married to another guy and become glad, and it made him sense like he had not anything left to stay for in his any international. So the concept of leaving, which become quite plenty, pulling the plug on yourself, and now no longer returning, becomes something which he become considering. But the significance of the actual lifestyles there has been proven to have price as an example. We noticed this while Mark become stressful, that he'd be put lower back with Helly, Irving and Dylan, and he wasn't settling till he became. And we also noticed it while Dylan pleaded with Irving to now no longer go away due to the fact he became any person that made him the person who he became. Painting sewn. Circle of relatives is something that we have got nearly possibly skilled in our jobs. And while humans go away or you install a brand new group, it would not pretty experience the equal. So in this heightened global wherein paintings is the only lifestyles that the indies get to stay, this is their own circle of relatives. So its significance became overstated and made obvious my review of the episode. I notion that this became amazing season. Most efficient of the display thinking about it have been some time since Season 1 aired. I became involved over how it'd settle lower back in, however it picked lower, back up in a really perfect manner, and I became immersed lower back into the sector with ease. The outlet scene of Mark jogging became choreographed so properly, the repeated motif of music, the abrupt transferring digital digicam angles, and the sound consequences simply encapsulated the surroundings, the sense of panic and urgency, and that he became jogging via a maze of corridors, wherein the entirety simply seemed the equal, the awkwardness that became found in the first 1-2 of the episode, while Mark became paired with the brand new colleagues became something that I notion became simply funny. I in particular appreciated Mark W. in that organization. Milch's character is something that I simply experience watching. He is so company that I simply love it. The fake smiles, the calm tone. The entirety approximately him simply screams of any person seeking to climb the company ladder, and it stands proud, while compared to the primary 4 characters due to the fact he is nearly robot. The digital digicam angles and the manner that this display appears is simply appropriate on the attention. It is smooth. It is easy. And due to the fact the backdrop is proper, lie simply white. Any splash of shadiation has a tendency to supplement the visible so properly, and it constantly has a few type of. That means at the back of it in phrases of the characters. Irving became probable my preferred final season, and I experience like I may want to quick see him turning into my preferred once more. We're given such emotion in his somber calm nation is something that does offer peace among the chaos. Their Dennis by no means fails to make Messnort too. So he is probable a close in this episode became in reality a perplexing one. However, it laid the foundations down properly, and I consider as the episodes cross on we're going to in reality get extra readability. That is what I'm hoping. Besides, so there you've got it, Severance Season 2 Episode 1, finishing defined. If you need to look greater films on your favorite TV collection and films being damaged down, then click on the cardboard. In the Pinnacle Nook I'll be covering Severance each week, so make sure to hit subscribe so that you do not leave out a video. What did you observe of the primary episode? Let me recognize your mind with inside the feedback. As usually, thank you for tuning into the video, and I'll see you with inside the subsequent one.